So it's time for another Gardening Week video, and I've been away just for 2 days this week, and it's ridiculous how much seems to change in such a short period of time and how much can go wrong. You know, I watered these brassicas before I left, 2 days, and look at them now. What a mess. But we'll come back to them by the end of the day and we'll see how they're doing. So what have I got done this week? Well, I've got a lot of planting done, loads and loads of planting, and I'll put it up down the side here, and I won't go through it all because I'll do it in a tour in a few days' time. But you know, in particular, the thing I'm really pleased about is I got all of my colettes in and all of my Brussels sprouts in, and I'm about to do the peppers as well, just the peppers in the polytunnel. I think it's warm enough now to do them in the low tunnels as well. But you know, I'm just going to start off with the polytunnel because it's too much work to do them all at one time. And yeah, I finished getting all of my onions in, you know, which is really late, but that's one of the nice things about starting some of them in modules, you know, that you can plant them out as late as you want. And I potted on some of my leeks, so about a third of my leeks I've already got out. I put those out into the kitchen garden. I've got some in the polytunnel, actually in the beds for an early crop, and I've got some that I'll just plant out direct from the small modules, you know, in a few weeks' time, just in gaps and things. But I've also got a bed that's kind of earmarked for my spring harvest of leeks, really, like winter and spring harvest. And I decided to plant that up with spinach. And so I just potted the leeks on. I think I can plant those leeks out, you know, well into July, and they should do fine. So that's quite a useful technique, really, which I've never used before, is potting into big pots for leeks. And I also came home to loads and loads of strawberries. You know, they just went from white to like all red just in a couple of days. And the ones outside, actually, in the cold frame, so the second earlies, they're coming on really nicely as well. Absolutely covered in flowers, so it won't be long before they're ready. And I've also been sowing lots of seeds, and I'll put the seeds that I've sown again up at the side of the screen there so you can see them. The biggest thing, and the thing that I'm kind of most excited about, is getting the late beetroot, so the beetroot we're going to put in store sown. I have to do mine a little bit early because it's going in a shady spot. You might not do yours for a month or so, but for me this is kind of perfect timing, and they're just starting to break surface. And the other thing that's just starting to break surface are all of my winter squashes. And again, that's kind of like the last of the milestone crops, really. So once those are up, pretty much everything that we need for the year in terms of storage crops has either been sown or planted or just germinated. And I also came home to flowers on the second early potatoes. So I've started watering those a little bit more. So I don't tend to water the potatoes too much until the flowers or until there's tuber formation. Now that's a little bit tricky sometimes because some of the earlies, things like Swift, they don't flower. So you just have to go on kind of an estimate of when you think tubers will start to form as to when to start watering those a little bit more. But yeah, I think that's kind of all the summary stuff that's happened this week. I'm really busy today because obviously I'm catching up after 2 days away. As a gardener, it's hard to sort of leave your garden at this time of year. There's just so much to do. Let's have a look at the harvest. Wow, this is quite a harvest. You know, admittedly, I'm not just doing a normal weekly harvest here because I am starting to clear a few beds. And you know, during bed clearance time, when I sort of clearing beds to plant the summer crops, we always have a bit of abundance. Anyway, I'm going to take you through because yeah, we've got a lot of new stuff. But for me, it's about the alliums. These are just so gorgeous. Salad onions, more salad onions, but these are beautiful little bulbing ones. I think those are sort of like mini tough balls. This is green garlic, and these are leeks, and these are big green onions. I know they're not alliums, but that's the first season celery. So let me do the firsts. And as I said, this is the first celery. And everybody was like absolutely munching on this last night, so we haven't got much of it left, but it's super sweet at this time of year, new season celery. And new season, some new season potatoes, which are looking pretty good, and new season carrots, and new season beetroot. So so I think they're the new season bits. But anyway, I'll take you through. Oh, new season kales, absolutely gorgeous. Right, so Joy Choy, looking really lovely, and these are beautiful Asian greens. And last season's beetroot, still got quite a bit of this, still looking really good and tasting really good. Last season's carrots, so we've got one batch of these left in the fridge, and as I say, we've got new season carrots. I'm only picking these, not for this video, but these are better in salads than these, as you can probably tell. Like, there's quite a big difference between them. And yeah, absolutely gorgeous little new season beetroot. And actually the reason we picked this is for the leaves, and there's the leaves, so really beautiful beetroot leaves, and a couple of containers full of purple sprouting broccoli, and we're kind of coming to the end of the purple sprouting broccoli now. That's I think the last pick of last season kale, and yeah, amazing asparagus, and again that got raided last night, so we've had quite a bit more, and we've probably picked another box, so we've had at least 3 boxes anyway this week. And this is the first pick of the Mikado spinach, and hopefully we'll have lots more of that to come. So this is the spinach we're transitioning to, because the red kitten spinach is going to seed, and that's all up here, stacked multiple layers deep. I think there's 6 tubs of that, and it's still kind of palatable, but it's not great quality now. And Brussels sprout leaves. So everybody knows how much of a fan that I am of Brussels sprout leaves. I think they're the kind of the king of the brassica leaves, and so we grow plants specifically for harvesting these beautiful leaves all the way through spring. And yeah, so for anybody who doesn't like kale but wants a kind of continuous harvest crop, I highly recommend Brussels sprout leaves. But we like kale too, and we've got these beautiful red kales, and obviously normal green curly kale as well. Field bean tips, highly recommend field bean tips. These have been a staple of our diet for quite a few months now, and they're nice because they're lower in oxalic acid than spinach, so you can use them where you would use spinach in most recipes, and they're just prolific, and as I say, just lower in oxalic acid, so you can't have too much spinach, otherwise if you're susceptible it can give you kidney stones or something. That might be wrong, but anyway, whatever it is that oxalic acid is bad for. And yeah, lovely red pak choy and tatsoi and parsley and squash. We haven't quite got courgettes yet, but they're only a week or so away, so we'll probably save this one for next week, but I wanted to show that is our last Crown Prince squash. Some more beautiful Asian greens, and that is komatsuma, which has been really nice actually in the salads. Really really nice surprise, so I'm going to be growing more of that. It's kind of got away from me now though. The leaves are huge, and you got to keep picking it when it's young, and sometimes we've just got so much to pick, can't keep on top of it all. Not beetroot, radish. Again, this is like an example of a bed that got away from me. I just forgot about it, and they grew a little bit big, but actually they're really firm and really sweet and tasty, and Debbie cut some of the big ones up yesterday and we used them in the salad. But you can also roast them. We've got a friend who really loves them roasted, and obviously these little slug holes don't matter at all. And loads and loads of salads, obviously, at this time of year. So these are all the salad bases, and then these are some of the toppings. So we've got red pak choi and tatsoi. These are some of the smaller leaves. The bigger ones we use for cooking, and loads of wild rocket. So I think that is pretty much it. I'm very happy with that. Really nice. So, hope you like this quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.